I don't fuck with you. You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you.
Everyone. Hi. Hey everyone, it's Michelle. Today's video is going to be my very first Tinder date. So if you want to hear all the fuckery that happens on my first Tinder date, please keep watching. And my fly is down. So I was talking to this guy on Tinder for a while, and he kept asking to take me out on a date. We finally agreed on going out to dinner and bowling. The day came, it was a Friday night that we were supposed to hang out, and it was about 5 o'clock and I still hadn't heard anything from him, so I messaged him and asked him what was going on, and he said he was helping his buddy out. So I said, okay, well, my daughter and I are really hungry, so I'm just gonna eat with her, and I guess we'll meet up after to go bowling. He says, cool, let's meet up for 7:30. So I was ready by about 7 o'clock. I messaged him, didn't hear from him. I messaged back at 7:30, still didn't hear from him. I didn't end up hearing from him until 10 o'clock. So of course I thought I was being stood up. I didn't send any rude messages, but I was just like, okay, this is a bust. You know, he's been bugging me all this time to meet up. So he had finally got back to me at 10 o'clock and says that he had left his phone in his friend's car. He had to wait for his friend to bring the phone back before he can contact me. So he says, I understand if it's late and you don't want to go out, and kind of seemed like he was brushing me off. And I said, no, I'm all ready and sitting here. I still wanted to go. I was looking forward to going. So he says, okay, cool. He'll come and pick me up. We were going to meet around the corner at a store. So we meet up, we end up going bowling. We had a good time, actually. He seemed quite nice. Honestly, I wasn't super physically attracted to him, but I do have a habit of going for guys that are super good looking that end up being assholes, so I'm just trying to give somebody a chance. Obviously, you have to feel some attraction to the person you're with. So after we went bowling, we ended up going to Tim Hortons and just sitting in the car, having a tea and just chatting, kind of getting to know each other better, and then he dropped me off. During that week, I noticed kind of a pattern with him that he would say he was going to contact me or do things and then just not get back to me until the following day and say he fell asleep or he was watching the game with the guys. Now, we weren't together and he owed me nothing, but I just kind of saw that he wasn't consistent with what he said. My fridge ended up breaking right within that first week of hanging out with him, and he said he had an old bar fridge in his garage that he could loan me. So he had said he was going to bring it over and we were going to hang out after, you know, he dropped it off and we would just hang out for a bit. I ended up not hearing from him until the following day, and then he said he fell asleep, so he didn't even have the courtesy to let me know he wasn't coming with the fridge. He did actually call me at one point and say he was having a hard time getting the fridge in his car and said something about sending me a video to prove that he wasn't lying. Well, I never thought he was lying, so he said he was going to try to get someone else to bring me the fridge and he would get back to me. But he didn't get back to me. So the next day he ended up saying he had fallen asleep and showed up right after work with his buddy with the fridge. His buddy brought it on his pickup truck, which was awesome. I really appreciated it. Now, something you need to know about this guy, he kept calling me babe and acting sort of like we were together, and when he got here, he gave me a big kiss on the neck, and I was kind of like... right in front of his friend, like, we're not together, we only had one date, I'm really not feeling like moving fast with this guy. I really wasn't attracted to him. I was trying, but I really just wasn't. You know, he was all dirty from work. When he went to give me a hug, after he hugged me, I kind of just brushed it off because I was in my good clothes, and he kind of stepped back and was like, wow, really? Like, really, you're gonna brush it off? I'm just like, well, sorry, you know, you were really dirty. I was just brushing the dirt off of me. When he came to give me the kiss on the neck, he had this huge, lumpy, pussy-looking thing protruding from his neck. I never noticed that the night that we met. Maybe it had just appeared because it's hot. Maybe it was there the whole time because it was dark. I didn't notice, but I'm pretty sure I would have noticed. So when he came in and went to kiss me, that thing was really close to my face, and I don't mean to sound like a prissy, stuck-up brat, but oh, it really grossed me out. So after that day, he ended up actually, we didn't even hang out. He just dropped off the fridge and then left because he had to go home and shower and everything. He asked me if we could hang out that next Friday he wanted to make up for not taking me out for dinner the week before, and we'd go for dinner, and he wanted to go play mini putt. So I was like, that sounds really awesome, let's do that. Now, throughout this whole week, I had been running around pricing out fridges, and it was just a bunch of stress. Now, it was super hot that week. I have to take the bus, which, you know, that's my problem, nobody else's, but Friday came along, and again, you know, he said he was going to be off early that day. I hadn't heard from him, so I figured maybe he didn't get off early. It was 6 o'clock. I finally messaged him and said, like, are we still doing dinner? What's happening? He was just kind of nonchalant, like, oh, yeah, babe, yeah, let's do it. So I asked him if he could pick me up from downtown, because for me to bus back to my house is a good 45 minutes. That's if the bus is right there. He suggests me to bus it down to the restaurant, which would have been well over an hour bus ride, instead of just picking me up, which would have been under a 15-minute drive. So I kind of was getting a little snippy about that. You know, I told him I was super starving. Now this was already after 6 o'clock. I'm gonna have to bus it for another hour. I've been busing all day. I'm really tired. I'm sore. Now, also, I have gallstones. I'm having surgery soon. He knew about that. He knew I was in pain, and he just was showing no compassion. He actually said to me, well, what do you want me to say? It's not my fault that you've been busting all day. It's not my fault that you're starving. And I'm thinking, like, you said you're going to be off early around 4, and you don't message me. I end up having to contact you at 6, and you're saying for me to bus home, and then you pick me up from home because that's closer for you, or to bus it by myself all the way to the restaurant and meet you there. And I just thought, like, you know, if you're really that interested in me, you would kind of help me out and come pick me up. So I ended up just saying, forget it. I'm going to have something to eat here. I'm not busing all the way home or all the way down there. I don't really care about a free dinner. I don't really care about going out to mini putt if you can't even do something as simple as pick me up when you drive. Like, he lives with his mother. He has a brand new vehicle and a very good job. I'm a single mom, busing around all day with gallstones, in pain, trying to be nice and get to know this guy and go out and do fun things with him, even though really it's hard for me a lot of days to really barely do anything because it just hurts so much. So, you know, we had some words exchanged. I was telling him basically I thought he was an asshole for what he was doing. We stopped talking. It was almost 2 weeks later. So once I got the fridge, I messaged him strictly to say, I have my fridge now. You can come and pick up your fridge. Like, I'm not a thief. I had no intentions on trying to keep his fridge. And he got back to me saying you could keep it. Well, truthfully, I didn't really want the thing. It looks like fake wood. It's really bulky and old looking. I mean, it worked and I really appreciated the help, but at the same time, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. I don't even really want it in my house. So then he continues on to say, oh, so how have you been and what have you been up to? And, you know, sorry I didn't message you, but I just felt like you were comparing me to your past. How the fuck is you not picking me up have anything to do with my past? It had nothing to do with that and everything to do with, I just wanted you to show me that you would put a little effort in to help me out. Something as simple as taking 15 minutes out of their day to pick me up. That I would do anything for you. It was just a misunderstanding and please give me another chance. Like, I have bad anxiety, so I kind of hate having to keep meeting new people, and I give people more chances than they deserve. Maybe that wasn't that huge of a deal to some people, but the couple people I've talked to, girls and guys that are my friends, they thought that was kind of an ignorant thing to do as well, that he should have picked me up. So it's not just me who thought that way. Here's just a few screenshots showing how he would turn conversations sexual. I had some worse ones, but I must have deleted them, unfortunately. He was delusional to think I'd be kissing him or allowing him in my bed when he wouldn't even pick me up to take me on a date. Like, are you kidding me? Ladies, please don't let anybody treat you this way and give them the goods. He ended up asking me, I think it was a Wednesday or a Thursday anyways. He ended up asking me if he could take me out yet again. I told him I had a lot of running around to do that day, appointments and things. I wanted to go up to the mall. I was looking for some capris, and he said, okay, like, I'm gonna pick you up from there, and then we'll go out to have something to eat and, you know, hang out and chat and just have a nice time. So I'm like, okay, are you sure, like, are you sure you're gonna pick me up? Are you sure we're gonna do this? And he says, yeah, I really wanna see you. Like, I'm so looking forward to it. Thanks for giving me another chance. So I get a message from him at about 5, 6 o'clock stating, I'm really sorry, but it's my dad's 3-year wake and I completely forgot about it. There's a ton of family over for a dinner. And I said, okay, I don't know how you forgot. He says, well, you know, I wasn't really close to my dad, but I still should be here. I said, I understand, no problem, so I guess we're not going to see each other today. He said, no problem, so I guess we're not going to see each other today.
I really want to
He
see
says,
you. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I really want to see you. That's not what I'm saying. I just might have to pick you up a little later. You don't mind staying at the mall, do you? And I thought, well, you know, if we're still going to hang out, I can just chill for a little bit longer if I'm finished before he is done his dinner or whatever. You know, most girls love the mall, and I'm no different. It was about 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock. So the mall would have been closing in another hour, and I still hadn't heard from him. So I messaged him and said, like, what's going on? Are you guys done your dinner? Are you still coming to pick me up? And he responds with, babe, I'm really tired. You know, this babe thing really fucking irks me. And actually, when we had the argument, the time he wouldn't pick me up, the last time we had plans, I had kind of told him off about that, you know, I'm not your girlfriend, stop calling me babe. As well as he had invited his sister to come out with us, so not only was I supposed to come and meet him with bad anxiety and I've only hanged out with him one time, now I'm supposed to hang out with his sister who I've never met and his sister's boyfriend, which I really want to be involved in somebody that I date's family and friends, but I kind of want to get to know them first, especially seeing how when he dropped off the fridge that he was so quick to be kissing on my neck and that, like, I don't want him acting like we're together out in public in front of his family and stuff when we're not. Like, I just don't move fast like that. That's just not how I work. And really, honestly, it doesn't matter how good looking the guy is. I just don't like guys, you know, touching all over me right at the beginning. I want to get to know them. I message him at 8 o'clock asking him what's going on, and he responds back, babe, I'm really tired. So I say back, does that mean you're not picking me up? Does that mean we're not hanging out? He doesn't fucking get back to me. So I'm waiting about 20 more minutes. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm not going to stay all hours of the night until this place closes waiting for him if he can't even give me the respect to answer me back. He ends up messaging me back at 11 p.m. stating, oh, my family just left. Something I also forgot to mention was the day that we met, that we went bowling, when he was how many hours late, he smelled like alcohol, and when I questioned him about it, he said, oh yeah, I had a few beers. And I said, like, I'm not really comfortable with driving with somebody who's been drinking. And he's, oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It was only like 2 beers. And I thought, you know, maybe I'm assuming things, but I thought you were waiting for your friend to bring back your phone. When did you have time to have alcohol? Did you have alcohol sitting at your house and you were just sitting there drinking those few hours waiting to get your phone back? Or were you lying all together and drinking with your buddy and just ignoring me and not wanting to take me out for dinner, so you were prolonging it? Like, you know, you just don't really know. People are so fucking skeezy, right? I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but the fact that he kept saying one thing and doing another, obviously you're going to question whether they're telling the truth or not. Now, I never said any of this to him. I was totally cool. Even though he made me wait, I still ended up hanging out with him and we had a good time. It wasn't like I was bitching him out or accusing him of anything. I didn't do that. So 11 p.m. rolls around, he messages me, and I was just pissed off. I didn't respond to him. The next morning he messaged me again saying, I'm really sorry, babe, that I had my dad's wait. And a little while later he messages me again, oh, I guess you're not talking to me anymore. The sad emoji, wah, 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 cry me a fucking river. I finally got back to him later in the afternoon and said, look, you know, how many chances do I need to give you that you can't even give me the respect to keep your word? I'm not interested anymore. You know, you've lost your chances. I'm sick of sitting around waiting for somebody who doesn't even have the decency to either let me know they're not coming or to show up when they say they're going to. I really don't think that's too much to ask. It doesn't really matter. Like, should I feel like a bitch because it was your dad's wake? I gave you an out to say that's cool. We don't have to hang out. We can hang out another day. And you insisted, no, you were still picking me up. So at that point, you're in the wrong. So he was, oh, I'm really sorry. And you know, my family stayed later and blah, 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 blah. Well, not my problem. I said all you had to do was say, sorry, I'm not coming, but instead you had me sitting there waiting, thinking we were hanging out. I could have left way earlier or got a ride from somebody else. Now, it's 2 buses, an hour and a half to get back home from that mall that I was at. So I don't really like bussing around super late at night, and he was putting me in a bad situation in that circumstance as well. Like, I would have left a lot sooner. I was just kind of diddle-daddling around because I thought he was coming to pick me up. So long story short, he says, well, I hope you text me later. I hope you change your mind. But, his last sentence, but, just so you know, I didn't do anything wrong. Well, at that point, I was fucking pissed. Fuck you. You don't fucking say sorry to me when you really aren't sorry for you to say now you did nothing wrong. So I let him have it. I told him, you know what? You're ugly. I thought I would give you a chance because you seem like a nice guy. And even though you kept disappointing me and not keeping your word, I still tried to give you another chance. And that's how you treat me. You don't even think my time deserves enough respect to say I'm not going to come. You have me sitting an hour and a half bus ride away from my home waiting on you. I just thought that was so friggin' disrespectful. That was so fucking arrogant of him to say. And he fucking did do something wrong. And if he doesn't see that he did something wrong, then obviously we have 2 differences of opinion, and there's no point continuing further because I'm not going to be with somebody who thinks it's okay to say you're going to pick me up and leave me sitting there waiting and then not even have the decency to say they're not coming. Like, I'm sure you could have shot me a text beyond, I'm tired, babe, to say I'm not coming. So I ended up blocking him. I don't know these dating sites. It's obviously, it's like a needle in a haystack, right? You're weeding through all the shitty ones to maybe find a good one. He actually even said to me when I first met him, what am I even doing with him? That I'm way too hot to be with a guy like him. So I hope you enjoyed my first Tinder date story. Thanks so much for watching.